today was not a good day, bro. Today was one of those bad days, man, where the devil was working hard, man. He was at work, man, and he was this close, man. He was this close to cashing in on wishful thinking. So right now, right, I'm in a phase where I'm trying to regroup, you know what I'm saying, and think things through, man, and just, create the space to be calm and copacetic, you know what I'm saying, through the storm, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully y'all had a good day up out there, though, man, on this Monday, man, you know what I'm saying? To anybody day who was bad like mine, we gonna make it through, champ, you know what I'm saying? As long as we make it through the next day, man, we got another chance, man, to recharge, man, and regroup, man. Salute. Stay strong.
Put your hands in the air.
Get down to the ground!
Suspect is in custody.
This Jefe murder investigation just took a turn for the worse. Jefe was arrested yesterday a little after noon by the Robbery and Homicide Division. Now, upon information and belief, people began to connect Jefe's arrest to a murder that took place yesterday in LA at a taco stand, because one of Jefe's vehicle may or may not have been at the scene when his murder took place.
Got some breaking news, bruh. They saying that allegedly, supposedly, Jefe is the one who killed Big U's son, Baby Huey.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, like, it is a little tricky because, like, there's so many people out here making videos and they all trying to make sense of the situation based on what information they have. And, like, all the information they have is basically coming from law enforcement. I understand you being a little frustrated with certain people, especially people who are cool with you, who have been a little quick to jump out the window with theories and shit like that. But, even somebody like Flacco, like, I do believe that he's trying to, like, get to the truth on behalf of the people, even though, obviously he's made some, like, pretty massive mistakes, like, especially with the whole taco truck narrative.
But him, like, you can't be trying to get to the truth, Adam, when you talking about you like lying to my car, somebody was driving up to know, like, you going too far when you talking about, you don't know what car kind of no jumper in. I don't even come to no jumper in my cars. Like, people bring me, my homies drive me up to no jumper. So it's like, cause I don't even want to drive the freeway a lot of times. So it's like what the f is you talking about? Tomorrow? It's like the car he was coming up there to no jumper in. Like, it's just like these narratives. Like I said, I'm not even mad because, like I said, I know how the content go. I've reported shit, but I'm not gonna jump off the deep end and like be saying no weird. You feel me? So
this call is being recorded.
He knew what he was saying. Like I said, even the police report, I'm not mad about that because that's what the police put out there. Like I said, I'm gonna deal with them though. You know what I'm saying? They put the false shit out there, so for sure, all right. I'm not even tripping off that because that's what they put out there. You feel me? That's what motherfuckers going off of. But it's just like all these other little fake narratives I've been hearing, like coming back on there every day, trying to like, oh yeah, but this happened. Oh no, well it happened like this. Oh yeah, he might have did this too. Like what? Like the f is you talking about?
You tell me if this is too much, but do you reject the idea that this was some sort of DP gone wrong?
Yeah, because I like this what I'm gonna tell you. I don't even look. I pulled up to a store, bro. Look, I was on my way home. My girl hit me, asked me if I can stop and get some tissue. So being that I was already in my community, I'm like, oh, before I hop on the freeway and go home, I'm gonna stop at the store and get me some tissue.
I was trying to think of like, what can I ask that will add some clarity to this situation, but won't fuck up his legal situation? And what I arrived at in my mind was, I'm going to ask, do you reject the idea that you were involved in some sort of DP? Because I thought that was a question that I thought for sure he was going to reject it and say, I wasn't in no goddamn DP, Adam. That's what I thought he was going to say.
Bro.
He spoke a little more than I would have expected.
He said wax out of line for reading the police report that Munchie B and Alex Crybaby Alonzo released, right? You're on the phone with the niggas that released the police report. And he said, and for another reason, he's reading lies written by the police. What does that Jefe do? The same dude that says, I don't know why Loose Cannon calls in there and talks about his case. I don't know why Brick. I don't know why these dudes are crazy. Everybody knows the police are listening. This dude goes on there, places himself at the murder scene. I got there, give it a timestamp at 9 o'clock. Then says, my homies been there since 6 o'clock. Puts them at the murder scene and says, I was in the store when they started rumbling. All of these are details the cop that you say lied in the report placed in the report.
The legal troubles surrounding YouTuber and podcaster and Jefe have taken a dramatic turn, and now the case is moving from internet speculation into a real courtroom battle. According to criminal court records filed by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, Morris Shellman, better known online as Aunt Jefe, is facing a felony murder charge connected to the death of 51-year-old Carl Welch. This case has generated a huge amount of discussion across YouTube, podcasts, live streams, and social media. Some creators have rushed to report information before official records became available, while others have been trying to separate fact from rumor. Today we're going to break down exactly what the court documents say, what Aunt Jefe is actually charged with, why some of his own public statements are being discussed online, and why legal experts generally advise defendants not to discuss active criminal investigations in public. As always, this is not a determination of guilt or innocence. These are allegations contained in court records, and Aunt Jefe has entered a plea of not guilty, the criminal complaint. Let's start with what is actually in the criminal complaint. According to prosecutors, Morris Shellman and a co-defendant named Johnny Gray are accused in connection with the death of Carl Welch. The complaint alleges that Welch was killed during events that prosecutors believe qualify for a felony murder charge under California law. Court records show that Welch was found dead on the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later determined that the cause of death was blunt force trauma. Several months later, investigators arrested Shellman. On May 19, 2026, he was taken into custody by the Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division. The arrest immediately sent shockwaves throughout the YouTube community because Aunt Jefe had built a large audience discussing street politics, criminal cases, hip-hop culture, and current events. For years, he positioned himself as someone with inside knowledge and connections to situations taking place in Los Angeles and beyond. Now he suddenly found himself becoming the subject of the type of criminal case he would normally be discussing on his own platform. Understanding felony murder. One of the biggest misunderstandings online involves the felony murder charge itself. Many people hear the word murder and automatically assume prosecutors are alleging that the defendant personally carried out the killing. But felony murder laws are more complicated than that under California law. Prosecutors can attempt to hold someone responsible for a death that occurs during the commission of certain felonies if they believe that person participated in the underlying crime. That means the legal theory isn't always focused solely on who delivered the fatal injury. Instead, prosecutors may argue that participation in the underlying felony creates criminal liability for the resulting death. That doesn't mean a charge is automatically proven. It simply explains why someone can face a murder charge even if prosecutors are not claiming they personally inflicted the fatal injuries. Ultimately, the prosecution will have to present evidence supporting their theory, and the defense will have the opportunity to challenge that evidence. The not guilty plea. On June 5th, 2026, and Jefe appeared in court for arraignment. At that hearing, he formally entered a plea of not guilty. His attorney, Lois P. Fletcher, has already begun pushing back against the allegations. Following the hearing, Fletcher reportedly described the case as overcharged. That statement gives some insight into what the defense strategy may look like moving forward. Defense attorneys often use the term overcharged when they believe prosecutors have filed charges that exceed what the available evidence actually supports. Whether that argument succeeds remains to be seen. The discovery process has only begun. Evidence will be exchanged. Witnesses will be identified. Investigators may be challenged, and both sides will eventually have opportunities to present their arguments before a judge and potentially a jury. The internet rumor machine. One thing that has become impossible to ignore is the amount of misinformation surrounding this case. Within hours of the arrest becoming public, social media exploded with theories. Some YouTubers claimed Aunt Jefe had been arrested for gang conspiracy charges. charges. Others claimed he was facing racketeering allegations. Some suggested federal charges were involved. Others claimed authorities had secretly been building a case against him for years. The problem is that many of those claims appear to be based more on speculation than actual court records. When covering criminal cases, it's important to distinguish between rumors and documented facts. The criminal complaint tells us what prosecutors have formally charged. Everything beyond that should be treated carefully unless supported by evidence. That's especially important because criminal allegations can have life-changing consequences for everyone involved. In today's content environment, speculation often spreads faster than verified information. A shocking accusation generates views, but accuracy still matters. The nitrogen monoxide jumper phone call. Another major topic being discussed online involves a call Aunt Jefe made to no jumper. Many viewers have revisited portions of that conversation after learning about the criminal case. Some believe that during the discussion, Aunt Jefe made statements that placed himself closer to the events being investigated. Whether prosecutors ultimately use any of those statements is unknown, but the situation highlights an important legal reality. Anything said publicly can potentially become evidence. Once a statement is made in an interview, live stream, podcast, or social media post, it exists forever. Investigators can review it, prosecutors can analyze it, defense attorneys may have to explain it, and jurors could potentially hear it. This is one reason criminal defense lawyers often advise people not to discuss active investigations publicly. Even statements that seem harmless can create complications later. Sometimes people speak casually, sometimes they exaggerate, sometimes they misspeak. But once those words are recorded, the context can become a subject of debate. Content creation from jail. Another aspect of the case that has sparked discussion is Aunt Jefe continuing to communicate publicly while incarcerated. Many observers have questioned whether speaking on ongoing situations from jail is a wise legal strategy. Generally speaking, criminal defense attorneys tend to be extremely cautious about recorded communications. Most jail facilities notify inmates that phone calls are monitored and recorded. Those recordings can sometimes be reviewed by investigators. That doesn't mean every conversation becomes evidence, but it does mean defendants should assume their statements are not private. When someone facing serious criminal charges discusses people connected to a case, talks about evidence, comments on witnesses, or attempts to explain events publicly, they may unintentionally create issues that their attorney later has to address. Even if the person's intentions are completely innocent, prosecutors may view certain statements differently. A comment that sounds harmless to supporters may be interpreted very differently inside a courtroom. That's why many defense lawyers prefer that legal arguments remain inside court proceedings rather than on social media platforms or jail phone calls. The road ahead. As of now, Aunt Jefe remains presumed innocent under the law. The prosecution has made allegations. The defense has denied them. And the legal process is only beginning. The coming months will likely reveal significantly more information than what is currently available. Court hearings will take place. Evidence may become public. Witnesses may emerge. And both sides will continue building their cases. What we know today comes primarily from the criminal complaint and initial court proceedings. What we don't know is what evidence prosecutors believe will ultimately prove their case or what evidence the defense believes will undermine. That's why it is important to avoid rushing to conclusions. Criminal cases are often far more complicated than they first appear, and the facts that emerge later can sometimes change public perception dramatically. For now, the focus remains on the courtroom, where prosecutors and defense attorneys will battle over the evidence and where the ultimate outcome of this case will eventually be decided. Until then, separating facts from rumors may be one of the most important things anyone covering this story can do.